She was standing at the kitchen counter when it happened, not the realization, just a moment, Tuesday morning. The coffee maker was dripping. Her daughter was eating cereal at the table behind her. The light was coming through the window at 7:23 a.m., soft, slanted. Her daughter said something. She didn't hear it. She was reading an email on her phone, something about a deadline. Her daughter said it again. She looked up. "What, honey?" "Nothing." She went back to her phone. This was normal. This was every morning. She worked in marketing, mid-level, decent salary, the kind of job where you're always busy but never quite sure what you're building toward. She was good at it, good enough to keep getting more. Her manager would send messages at night, just thoughts, but they required responses, and responses required her to still be there, even after she'd left. She told herself it wouldn't always be like this, after this quarter, after this launch, but the finishes kept moving. Her daughter was 9, old enough to make her own breakfast, old enough to not need her in the small, constant ways she used to. She told herself this was good, that independence mattered, but sometimes, late at night, she'd walk past her daughter's room and see the lights still on. "You should be asleep." "I know." She'd close the door. She'd go back to her laptop. There was a park 3 blocks from their house. Her daughter used to ask to go there. She'd ask every weekend. They went sometimes. She'd push her on the swings while checking her phone between pushes. She'd sit on the bench while her daughter climbed. She was there, physically there, but also somewhere else. Her daughter stopped asking around 7. She told herself it was a phase, that kids grow out of parks. But really, her daughter had just learned that asking meant waiting, that waiting meant disappointment. The years moved the way years do, slowly at first, then all at once. Her daughter turned 11, then 13, then 15. The conversations got shorter. "How was school?" "Fine." "Anything happen?" "Not really." She told herself this was normal, that teenagers pull away. But late at night, she'd scroll through old photos. Her daughter at 4, at 6, at 8, smiling in ways she didn't smile anymore. She'd wonder when it changed. There was a moment. Her daughter was 14. She came into the kitchen holding a piece of paper, a drawing, something she'd made in art class. "Mom, look." She was on a call. She held up one finger. "Wait." Her daughter stood there for maybe 30 seconds. Then she put the drawing on the counter and left. The call went another 20 minutes. When she hung up, the drawing was still there, a portrait, pencil. Actually quite good. She meant to say something, to go find her. But then another email came, then another call. The drawing stayed on the counter for 3 days, then her daughter threw it away. She worked late most nights, not because she had to, but because the house was quiet and her daughter didn't talk to her, and work was something she understood. At the office, people listened when she spoke. They needed her. At home, her daughter had learned to need her less. She started noticing things. Her daughter had a friend who came over sometimes. They'd sit in her room with the door cracked. She could hear them laughing, talking. Her daughter never talked to her like that. She'd try sometimes. She'd ask questions, real questions. But the answers came back flat, polite. One night she stood outside her daughter's door, listening. Her daughter was on the phone. Her voice was different, lighter, more alive. She knocked. The voice changed, became careful. "Yeah, I gotta go." She opened the door. "Who was that?" "A friend." "Which friend?" "Just a friend." She wanted to push, to find the door back in. But her daughter was looking at her the way you look at a stranger. "Okay, don't stay up too late." "I won't." She closed the door, stood in the hallway for a while, then went back to her laptop. Her daughter turned 17, started looking at colleges, started talking about leaving. She felt something she couldn't name, relief maybe, but also something else, something that felt like panic. One Saturday morning, her daughter was filling out applications at the kitchen table. She sat down across from her. "Need any help?" "I'm good." She watched her type, watched her face. "You've really grown up." Her daughter didn't look up. "Yeah." She wanted to say more, something that mattered, but she didn't know what that was anymore. So she got up, made coffee, checked her phone. Her daughter left for college in August. They drove 6 hours, unpacked boxes, made the bed. When it was time to go, her daughter hugged her, quick, polite. "Thanks for everything. Call me if you need anything." "I will." She didn't. The house was different after, quieter, emptier. She worked more, stayed late, filled the space with things that needed doing. Her daughter called sometimes, once a week, maybe twice. The conversations were short. "How's school?" "Good." "Making friends?" "Yeah." "Eating okay?" "Yeah, Mom, I'm fine." She wanted to ask real questions, wanted to know who her daughter was becoming, but she'd lost the right to know those things. The calls got shorter. Once a week became once every 2 weeks, then once a month. She told herself her daughter was just busy, but she knew she'd been busy too, for years. And her daughter had learned exactly what that meant. She started thinking about it more. The small moments she'd missed while being somewhere else, the drawing on the counter, the light in her daughter's room, the way her voice changed when she talked to other people. She'd been there, physically, in the same house, the same rooms, but she'd never really arrived. One night she called her daughter. It rang 4 times, 5, then voicemail. She tried again the next day, same thing. She sent a text. "Just wanted to talk. Call when you can." 3 days later, "Sorry, been swamped. I'm good though." She stared at the message for a long time. That word, good. The same word her daughter had been giving her for years. The word that meant nothing. The word that kept distance. She'd taught her that. Her daughter came home for Thanksgiving. Stayed 3 days. They sat across from each other at meals, made small talk, talked about classes. Her daughter spent most of the time in her old room, on her phone, talking to other people. On the last day she tried. "I feel like I don't know you anymore." Her daughter looked up. Something flickered across her face, then disappeared. "Yeah, I guess. I wish we were closer." Her daughter nodded, not agreeing, just acknowledging. "Me too." But her voice was saying something else. It was saying, "You had 18 years. She left the next morning. Another quick hug. She stood in the driveway and watched the car disappear. She went back inside. The house was silent. She thought about all the nights she'd worked late, all the calls she'd taken while her daughter was in the next room. She thought about the park 3 blocks away. She thought about the drawing. She walked to her daughter's old room. It looked different now, like a guest room. She sat on the bed. On the nightstand was a photo, old. Her daughter, maybe 7, at the park, on the swings, smiling. She picked it up. She didn't remember taking it, but her daughter had kept it. She put the photo down. She thought about calling, about trying again, about saying all the things she should have said years ago, but she knew you can't go back and be present in moments that are already gone. She'd been so afraid of not being enough, of failing. So she'd worked, she'd stayed busy, but the thing she'd been most afraid of losing was the thing she'd lost anyway. Not because she wasn't there, but because when she was always somewhere else. Her daughter didn't call much anymore. And when she did, the conversations were kind, polite, distant, the way you talk to someone who used to matter. She still worked late most nights. But now the house stayed quiet in a different way. Now the silence wasn't waiting for her to finish. It was just silence. And the only thing left in it was everything she'd traded it for.